Hi, welcome to the Russ and Vince Courtside Podcast. I'm your host, Vince. Before we go into the video, please hit that like and subscribe button down below if you enjoy our videos. Let's get right into it.
All right. Welcome in, guys. It is game day. Game 7, Thunder, Nuggets. It's going to be fun. We're going to be watching it live, coming up with questions and talking about it. But just want to welcome everyone here to the Russ and Vince Courtside Podcast. Just want to thank all of you for tuning in, watching with us, and just want to introduce my partner, Vince. How you doing?
Doing good, man. I definitely excited to see this Game 7 matchup for sure between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Just fair warning, you guys, if you see me looking to the right a little bit here or the left, depending on how this recording goes, it's because I'm looking at the game here live. Obviously, we're going to be doing live cast show right here. Definitely this game so far has not been exactly what we expected. I mean, for one, we got reports all day today that Aaron Gordon was not going to be making it to this game. Obviously, he has a grade 2 hamstring pull, and as somebody who has had a grade 2 hamstring pull, I can tell you, I didn't predict that he was going to be playing in this game at all either, to be honest. If you've ever had a hamstring pull in your life, it is excruciating pain. It's not to be played with, especially if you feel a pop. I believe is the sensation that a lot of times people feel when that happens. It's not a good feeling. But we were surprised last second, just as the game was about to start, we got news that Aaron Gordon was, in fact, actually going to be playing in this matchup. So it completely changes everything for a lot of people. A lot of people obviously have OKC Thunder winning this game and destroying the Nuggets. Me, however, I didn't really think that the Nuggets were going to go down like that. The Nuggets are still a championship level team. They have majority of their players on their team still are from that championship roster. I didn't think that they were going to go out just getting destroyed like that, but I did think that they were going to struggle, obviously, without arguably their heart and soul player, Aaron Gordon, not playing. So now that he is playing, let's talk about what we saw so far in that first quarter. In that first quarter, the Nuggets really showed up and showed out early. They had a great start to that first quarter. Um, Aaron Gordon clearly was the difference maker. I mean, even though he has a hamstring pull, the brother was doing his own thing on the rebounds. He was making very timely stops as well. He wasn't too much of a liability as you would think he would be given his injury. And so for him to be able to still show up in this game shows a lot about Aaron Gordon. He's obviously got a lot of heart. Um, and he knows that, listen, this is a game 7 situation. You don't want to go out not giving it your all. You have a whole offseason that you can get your health back up, a whole offseason to get your hamstring back in order. Typically, with a grade 2 hamstring pull, it does take at the bare minimum, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks. It is typically about a month and a half recovery. Obviously, I don't know the technology the NBA has, so maybe it could be, quicker. And I'd have to assume that the medical staff is probably giving him something right now to be able to tolerate the pain and to just kind of hold that hamstring together as best as possible, maybe a sleeve or something like that. But so far, he's definitely had a good impact. And the crazy thing is, too, if you notice the moment that he left in that first quarter, and even right now as the second quarter just kicked off, his impact is clearly known because when he's not in the game, the Nuggets are, I think, like -8 or -9 right now as we speak. The second quarter just started, and already OKC is taking a 3-point lead right now after being down as much by 11. So those Aaron Gordon moments are very, very vital. We'll see how long he's going to be able to play in this game because so far he's already played 9 minutes, right? I would assume that with that type of hamstring pull, they're going to try to monitor his minutes and stagger it as best as possible. But don't be surprised if he's not playing heavy, heavy minutes with that hamstring pull. I predict he'll probably play somewhere between maybe 30, 32 minutes, best case scenario, assuming it doesn't go to overtime. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, like we're in for a good matchup. It's 29 OKC right now to 26 Denver Nuggets. Again, it's a 3-point lead so far. If you're just tuning, if you're just tuning in, welcome again to the Vince, the Russ and Vince Courtside Podcast. We are doing a live play-by-play here today, trying something new. And again, if you are just now tuning in, quick news: Aaron Gordon, who was predicted to not be playing in this matchup, he is in fact playing today. He's playing right now as we speak. And once again, he is having a great impact so far in this game. He already has 3 points, 5 rebounds. But outside of even the stats, I mean, he's a +3 in the plus, minus column right now. And he's the leading rebounder right now. Even with the torn or strained hamstring, he's kicking butt and honestly doing the best that he can. Um, right now, as I see, it looks like Denver just hit a 3 to tie the game up 29-29. We are still early into the second quarter, and we got about 9 minutes and 23 seconds just to start that second quarter. But again, it is tied 29-29. And now it looks like OKC just scored a 3. Now they went back up 32-29. One of the things that I am noticing with OKC to start that game as well, they kind of came out a little bit flat defensively. They were giving up some really easy buckets around the rim. Christian Brown had a really good start to start this game as well. And it seemed like they couldn't buy a bucket at the same time. They had a lot of missed 3-point opportunities, some really good looks, but they just weren't going down. And that's why they say it is a make and miss league. But despite that, they were able to climb back into this game and be able to still get themselves positioned to be able to do some damage really with this game. So right now, again, scores 32-29. OKC is up by 3. Leading scores is well balanced, actually. Looks like we have 6 points from Holmgren, Hardenstein, and SGA as well. So, Russ, I want to know while we're watching the game right now, with OKC being up by 3, what was your early game prediction as far as who you thought, for one, is going to win this game while we're watching it live? But also, how do you think the game was going to go to start so far after hearing the news that Aaron Gordon was going to be playing in this game, again, after being projected out because of that grade 2 hamstring?
Well, Vince, this game, what I want, who I want to win, and who I think is going to win is actually the same person. It's the Nuggets. I mean, to me, it's the Game 7 experience. I'm pretty sure it says something like 36 Game 7s to 3 Game 7s for Nuggets to OKC comparison. That's a lot in difference of experience. Now, obviously, I don't think that's all the players on this team with the 36 Game 7s, but I know that Jokic and Murray definitely both have a lot more Game 7 experience, which I think helps a lot in terms of these types of games because, these games, every game it's in playoffs, it's a pressure type of game. But Game 7 is even one of those like even if you think you can score some points, the ones who score like under 10 points, they're definitely a lot more pressure to score. So you're going to see the people who don't score as much score even less or even maybe nothing, But seeing that was a big story. Aaron Gordon literally being told that he was going to be out or maybe out due to a grade 2 hamstring strain. And to me, that was shocking because everybody was saying, oh, yeah, it's like, 3 to 4 to 5, 6 week recovery, just like you never know the severity of it. I mean, they say grade 2, but like I've seen grade 2s where they've been out for a month. Now, clearly, Aaron Gordon is playing in this game, and I'm shocked. He just scored a 3 when it was to tie the game at 29-29, but this is impressive. I mean, Aaron Gordon, man, is showing toughness and the mentality. I think that Denver's going to win this game just solely based off of fourth quarter. It's going to come down to fourth quarter. That's what I think. What you got? What's that picture in the middle? What is that?
Oh no, that's just a commercial. Yeah, I wanted to put this up too. I didn't know if it was cool if we could have this on or not during the live. It's just an ad. But for sure.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna pull this up. Who is the leading scorer for both teams to end the game, Vince?
All righty. Yep. So I wanted to have this up for the viewers. That way, in case you're not able to watch the game yourself, you're able to at least see some of the same results that we're seeing right now. And again, if you are tuned in, if you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Of course, we always greatly appreciate, the support. We're going to be giving you as much content as we can throughout the NBA playoffs, and we've definitely had one for a treat. Right now, we are watching live Game 7, Denver Nuggets against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and so far, it's going toe for toe. We got MVP versus MVP. We got the number 1 seed against the number 4 seed, and it is definitely looking promising so far. So again, you guys, if you haven't already had a chance to start watching the game or the start to this game, Nuggets were able to get off to a really good start. They actually won that quarter 26-21, and a lot of that was due to the contribution of Christian Brown, as well as the good play from Aaron Gordon, who again was projected to not play in this game. As the game has come along, the Thunder, who were struggling early on in this game, especially with their scoring and their shooting behind the arc, they've definitely come back and have found their rhythm now. So now, as we can see, it looks like the Thunder are up 37-35, 6.5 to go. And now we got ourselves, like I said, a nail biter here. One of the things that I did mention too, as far as Aaron Gordon's impact on this game, we've seen all playoff long. He has been the heartbeat of this team. One could argue, as Aaron goes, the Nuggets go, right? I mean, he's already had 2 game-winning clutch moments of this postseason. It's very well known that he is Nikola Jokic's favorite teammate, and you got to wonder why. Well, this is why. Because in a game where he really has no business playing in with a grade 2 hamstring pull, he still finds a way. He knows the severity of this game. It's Game 7. There is no taking rest, taking breaks. What are you taking a rest and break for? If you guys go home, you have the whole summer, some of this spring to rest. Grade 2 hamstrings typically take 4 to 6 weeks with really good treatment and rest. So I got to commend Aaron Gordon for what he's doing right now for this Denver Nuggets team. And his impact is definitely being felt out there so far. One thing I did also notice too, watching this game that they put on the screen live, is that Nikola Jokic has played 6 Game 7 games. Do you want to know what his record is in those 6 games? I can't hear you.
He lost only 1.
Still can't hear you.
2. Can you hear me now? Hello? Okay, wait. Can you hear me now?
Still can't hear you. But anyways.
Wait. Only 1.
His audio. Oh, he wants us to wait. Okay, let's see. You think he's what? In those 6 games, you think he's won 1 game?
No.
Tell you what. Text it to me so I can tell the viewers, because I can't even understand what you're saying, brother. But yeah, Nikola Jokic has played 6 Game 7s, which I actually didn't even realize. Oh, 1 loss. Okay. I'm going to put it to you this way. He's 4-2 in 6 games that he's played Game 7s. So that's a 66% win rate. And as I'm looking again, Aaron Gordon getting a nice timely rebound. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. I've had my fair share of hamstring pulls playing track and field in high school. You don't play with those, man. Especially if you feel that popping sensation. For those who, have ever experienced a hamstring pull, it's really worse. It's not just bad when it initially happens. It's how you feel afterwards that is really painful, because you can't move. You don't really realize how much you use your hamstrings on a day-to-day basis, from sitting down at the couch to getting up out of bed to literally just moving around, just moving your muscles. You don't realize how much your muscles actually, what specific muscle groups you use the most. Hamstrings for sure you use the most. So again, it's really awesome to see what he's doing for the Nuggets, just showing up in this game. Again, predictions is in terms of the amount of time that he's going to be playing in this game. I don't think he's going to play more than probably 32 minutes if it doesn't go to overtime, which is a very good possibility, just seeing how Nick and Tuck this game is going so far. And real quick, I see we got a comment here. They may not have a choice but to play Aaron Gordon more. The team is very limited offensively. Now, that is a very good point as well. I mean, only they know just how hurt I would say Aaron Gordon is in terms of that hamstring pull. Just watching him play early in the game as he was trying to warm up, he kind of labored a little bit, right? But as I'm watching him throughout this game, he's moving a little bit more loose, and that's the key with the hamstring. Like, you can't have too much time of rest, because once you warm it up, you need to keep applying more to it in order for it to loosen itself up, for you to be able to feel, a little bit normal as best as you can with a hamstring like that. But I do see him picking his moments too, where he's still effective offensively. He is still, showing up defensively. You got to remember, this is a 6'8", 240-pound man. So even though his hamstring is not really feeling the best right now, he's still able to give you something on the defensive end just from his size alone, which we've seen him on his defensive rebounding. He's doing really well for this game. But you also see him still attacking the basket, which was something that I wasn't sure was going to see or not. Because, again, his hamstring, usually when you have some type of lower leg injury, it sometimes stops you psychologically and mentally from wanting to do the things that you're normally good at or that you normally just do as basketball plays, like driving to the rim, contesting shots, things of that nature. Anything that requires you to have to put some extra tension and strain to your legs, you usually try to prevent that. But for Aaron, like I said, he's looking nice as we're watching live here. And big stat again that I'm noticing, he had 9 rebounds already in that first half. But man, what I'm noticing too here, as we are kind of seeing a slightly slow, lower scoring game here, the defense from both of these teams, man, is insane. And you got to give a kudos to the refs, right? We've seen a lot in the regular season, especially these refs really ruining games just from their over officiating problems. But to see them just kind of let the players play right now, you're seeing a lot of physicality. You're seeing a lot of just contact all over the place, but they're not calling it. They're letting the players play. You got to love that.
Can you hear me okay?
And yeah, real quick, just to touch on this too. Denver scoring, I mean, so far as a team, let's kind of take a look at what they're doing so far as a team. So I'm a little bit curious. So far as a team, yeah, it's not too good. So they're shooting 35% to OKC's 40%. However, they are shooting better from the three. Like we said earlier, OKC was off to a terrible start from behind the arc for the first half. They're only shooting 16.7%. And one would argue that's the reason why the Denver Nuggets primarily are still in this game. Although the Nuggets field goal attempts and percentages are not, where they need to be, obviously, they're not shooting as terrible as OKC, even though they are still shooting terribly from the three. And if you look at the free throw attempts, right now Denver is up 14-3. So they're plus 11 just at free throw attempts, and they've made 10 of them. So really, again, it's playing physical. They're making their paint presence known. And that, I think, is the best way to really play a game, in my opinion. If you can establish paint presence, it stretches the floor a lot better. You're able to get a lot better looks out in the perimeter that way compared to just chucking up shots. You might get hot for a quarter or a half, but if you have no presence in the paint, I mean, right there, you're one-dimensional. And we saw a lot of that with Boston Celtics, right? Known for being a three-point team. And unfortunately, there were games where they shot themselves foot to the point where they lost. At least those 2 games at home against, beg my pardon, the New York Knicks. So, yeah, I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. And, again, you look at the rebounding. Defensive rebounding is really the key right now for this game. I do want to see if the Nuggets are going to have more assists, because right now, obviously, they're losing that 7-12. They're getting good looks. It's just they're not making them. And again, like, you're going to have that. You're not going to make every single shot. But yeah, we definitely want to see. I want to see how this game continues to progress because so far it's doing okay.
Hey Vince, can you hear me? Hey chat, if you guys can hear me, comment. I can hear you.
Yeah, I did just notice that too. That's the weird thing. So it's almost like I feel that Denver's making more of an effort, they're making it more of a point to try to attack the rim more, but OKC has had more points obviously in the paint, like you said, 60-13. I kind of just noticed that low key, but I almost feel like the shots that OKC is getting in the paint have been more fast break points. I want to see what the fast break points are looking like right now. Wow, no. So it's only 5 to 6 fast break points. Interesting. Wow. Very interesting. Let's take a look at the box score here. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, just look at this right here for the Denver Nuggets. I mean, just their starters being out alone, they're obviously winning in the game. It's those minutes where you're having the bench come out, and we already know the history of the Denver Nuggets and their bench. Not really much. Not much you're getting from them. I mean, right now they're a combined 1 for 6 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Russ is giving you those tangible things as well. Got the 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But yeah, I mean, and Aaron Gordon is something I'm trying to pay close attention to. Aaron Gordon minutes. I mean, I was not expecting him to be already playing 16 minutes. I don't know if they're going to rest him the rest of the second quarter, because I did predict somewhere between like 32, maybe 34 minutes tops, depending on how the game is going. But they may need him. They may need him for literally the entire game. So, but yeah. Another thing I'm noticing too right here is the turnovers. So maybe that right there is really what's kind of helping OKC with their paint scoring, because you got 9 turnovers for Nuggets compared to just 2 turnovers, which is, wow, really good for the Thunder. Although you look again at the Thunder's stat sheet, or at least in the box score, their starters are like, there's no one person that's like showing up and showing out. They're all minus, right? Arguably, their bench is really what's kept them in this game. As you can see, Aaron Wiggins +9, Alex Caruso +3. And I know that, the game is not completely all about plus and minus, but it is a good indication to kind of see the flow of the game, especially when you're watching the game live. I can tell you right now, just from watching the game live, that there was a moment that I felt like really kind of gave OKC the juice when they were down by 9 or 11 in that first quarter. And that was Alex Caruso pressuring Christian Braun in the corner. That right there, I thought was kind of the thing that the Thunder needed to kind of get their ball rolling a little bit better. But one could argue too, they're having really well-balanced scoring, right? Obviously, we know what Shea's capable of, projected MVP of this season. We also have seen, again, what Chet can do. Can he do it consistently? That's to be, determined. He has his moments where sometimes he just doesn't show up, and then sometimes he looks like an all-star caliber player. Same thing with Jalen Williams. Uh-oh. Let's make sure you guys can hear me.
No, I can. Yeah, we can all hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So he says he can hear me.
No, that was him talking about me.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, let me know, brother, if you can hear me too. Again, this is Vince. So if you can hear me, let me know.
Yeah, we can all hear you. It's just you were the only one who couldn't hear me.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know what was going on with your mic, but we can definitely hear you now.
Okay.
But yeah, man, I was just talking about how beg my pardon. I was just talking about how right now there's not really any one player on OKC that's like standing out. Obviously, you see like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been the head of the snake for this team, but they've been really well balanced in their scoring. And I mean, as I'm looking right now, Jalen Williams, I mean, Game 6, he did not show up, and it showed. Game 7, I mean, now they have an 8-point lead over the Nuggets, and he's the leading scorer, +5. Yeah, I mean, they're going on a run right now. We'll see how long this run could go, because right now they're winning the quarter 28-15. And, like our guy down the chat said, where are you getting the scoring from for the Nuggets? Not really many places you can look. And look at Jamal Murray.
So much more easier than Denver. And yeah, right now that's what we're seeing. I mean, then again, Thunder just went on a 7-0 run, which could happen to anybody, but it seems like the Thunder have a lot more young legs.
No, they definitely do got some fresh legs. I mean, especially after sweeping Memphis, right? Because let's not forget that they swept Memphis in 4 games. They had plenty of time to rest, and they still have young players. Whereas
this is Denver's second Game 7.
Exactly. They have already played 14 games in this playoffs.
Holy cow.
Tired legs are going to be taking a factor. And
an extra 14 games. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. That's an extra 3 games that they've played. And they're not just playing like a Washington Wizards extra 3 games or Portland Trail. Well, I can't even say that. Portland was low-key good to end the season. They weren't playing the Charlotte Hornets or nothing like that. Like, they're playing meaningful playoff caliber games in those extra 3 games, and it's showing wear and tear. Not to mention, like we keep talking about, man, the Nuggets bench does not exist. So you're really seeing the wear and tear on these starters. I mean, again, let's look at the box score, bro, while it's on commercial break right now. Jamal Murray, 4 points, 2 for 6.
Yeah, but we know Jamal Murray, he's slow.
Hold on. 0 assists, and you're the starting point guard for this team. That's unacceptable. You can't do that. Not even a single rebound. You didn't even have a rebound fall in your lap?
Okay, but wait. You say he's the starting point guard, which is true, but who really is the point guard on this team? It's Jokic.
Yes, but, I mean, you would think with their experience in the playoffs, they could do a 2-man, pick and roll screen, pick and pop. Anything of that nature.
No. Oh, wait. Holy cow. Your game is really ahead. Okay. I don't know why, but on the screen that we have up here, it says 56-43. I just got to 52-43.
Oh, yeah. No, mine's
my God. They're wiping the floor with them.
Yeah. So that hot start that the Nuggets had, man, is starting that wear and tear. You gave up 35 points in that second quarter. Now you're down by 13.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Dude, Jalen Williams is putting on a clinic right now.
He's got 15 points right now.
He's got how many?
15 points.
14-2 run. This is nasty.
I mean, his defense is wow. Yeah. I'm watching this run happen right now. It's a little behind, but what I'm seeing is they turned it up defensively. They are winning the turnover battle 11-3 right now. And again, we just talked about that earlier. Another steal from Caruso. I mean, come on. And the finish. Oh, boy. It's not looking good for Denver.
Well, no, not when Jokic misses them free throws.
They went on a 14-2 run here in the second quarter.
14 games with an 8-man rotation is tough. I mean, yeah. But, I mean, the thing is doesn't every playoff team usually run an 8-man rotation? Isn't that usually what it is? I mean, yeah, you can run a 9-man, 10-man, but usually 8-man rotation seems – and I don't know. I'm not like, an expert here. I just talk about this for fun, and I enjoy it. So please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought 8-man rotation was normal.
It is normal. I mean, think of OKC, right? They've been known for having really good depth, and for the most part of the season, they've played 9 to 10 players, right? Similar to the Golden State Warriors. I wouldn't say Golden State Warriors have the same level of depth, obviously, but you saw the coaches playing them a lot more. But OKC, they're only playing 8 players right now as well. They're just getting better contribution out of the blue in the second quarter from Shea. Shea turned it up a little bit. He's in double figures now. And then Jalen Williams, he really turned it up and made some really good finishes. But yeah, man, look, you got halftime here now. OKC really dominated that second quarter. I mean, they put a coffin in them earlier. to say the least. I mean, 60-46, going up 14. Now, it's not over, right? We still want to give some respect to Denver. Things could have happened in that second quarter. Like we said, tired legs. You go into the halftime, look at the film, see what you guys didn't do. I would say see why you guys are carelessly turning the ball over 12
I
times.
have okay, I have something for you here. Okay. I'm going to start this off by asking me this game so far, who is showing you that they are the real MVP? And my other host, he has, oh, there he is. Dude, you're just like the Nuggets, not showing up. You're on mute though, but
I know. I had to mute myself real quick, man.
This game so far, who is showing you that they are the real MVP?
See,
because
that's
I'll tell you what,
that's a tough one. Go ahead. I want to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. Jokic has 17, Shea has 12. To me, it's only a 5-point difference, but to me, you can clearly see that because what does MVP mean? Most valuable player, not most valuable team, right? This is an individual stat, not a team award. I've always, and the thing is they've always over the past, have judged MVPs by team success, which yes, I think it should be a factor, but I don't think it should be all of it. I think without Jokic, this Nuggets team is way worse than this Thunder team without Shea. I mean, to me, it's just Jokic's MVP. It's showing right here in this game that he's the most valuable to the team. He's the one that makes a bigger impact to the Nuggets than Shea makes to the Thunder. Your call, Vince.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say that with a game like this because, yes, Jokic is obviously having a great start to this game on the offensive floor, but similar to our guy Luka Doncic, right, on the Lakers, what are you doing defensively? This is one of those games where he's not really showing up. I mean, homeboy's got 3 turnovers. Like, he's a -6 in the plus minus. I wouldn't really say this matchup is showing really who the MVP is per se, more so just like who's more equipped to win this game, right? Like we kind of talked about your star player, right? Jamal Murray for the Nuggets has not showed up. He's taken 7 shots, only made 2. He has 4 points, no rebound. I'm surprised he ended up getting an assist because it wasn't long ago I just talked about he had no stats outside of those 4 points. He has not showed up, and you just got to wonder where is the Nuggets going to be getting their scoring from, right? One of our people, guys that are watching us live right now, made a really good point. Where are the Nuggets going to be getting their scoring from? Because it certainly can't just come from one person, right? I mean, in some ways, you can almost compare this to similar to, in some ways, like I don't want to say LeBron, but think about all those times LeBron had to literally carry his teams, and arguably you could say that because there was a stat that showed Jokic has been leading not just his team, but the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. So he's literally carried his team this far. But again, when you're playing back-to-back game 7s and your bench is terrible, it's been terrible all year round, you're putting so much extra pressure on your starting lineup that when they don't show up, that's pretty much game, set, match. And so that is pretty much what we're seeing here right now. Is it's not necessarily the MVP thing. It's what you trying to show me? It's blurry. It is super blurry, my guy. And you're muted.
Sorry about that. So it says final 3 minutes of the first half. Thunder 18 points, Nuggets 5 points. Thunder 7 for 7, Nuggets 2 for 5. Field goal percentage 100%, obviously. Nuggets 40%. Free throw, it's only both of them only got 2 attempts, and the Thunder hit both of them. Nuggets only.
Yeah, I see it right now. Final 3 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times people talk about it's a game of runs, so we'll see if the Nuggets can respond to this run. But I'm telling you right now, man, how you finish a quarter is really, really something to look at, because it just goes to show it don't matter how you start the game, right? The Nuggets started the game really good, 26-21. They had a 5-point lead going into that second quarter. And then suddenly, really it was that last 3.5 minutes of that second quarter, the end of it, that separated the Nuggets and the Thunder. Because prior to that, it was a back and forth game. It was literally barely a 2-possession game up to that point. But that last 3.5 minutes run that the Thunder just exploded for, I mean, you're talking about a 15-point difference. That right there, it's hard to come back from that. And we got to see, man, do they have the energy to come back? Because playing 2 Game 7s, back-to-back series, I'm going to tell you right now, if the Nuggets end up winning this game and winning this series, there's no doubt in my mind they are going home. They might actually end up just similar to what they did the Lakers like 2 years ago. Like every game might have been close, but they're going home in a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. Because I'm telling you right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're home right now, waiting to see who they're going to be playing in the conference finals. They're getting rest. They're watching how both teams are playing. They're envisioning matchups, possibilities already. And I mean, OKC is obviously more equipped to be able to handle this situation and still be able to show up in the conference finals against the Minnesota Timberwolves. But if the Denver somehow managed to get through this game and win the series, I don't really see them really going any further.
I want to say,
gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, I want to say that the Wolves are actually swept the Nuggets in the regular season.
They did. But here's the thing. Another team that also swept another team in the regular season?
Yes.
The Celtics and the Knicks.
Yes.
So it just goes to show you, bro, it doesn't matter what you do in the regular season. Playoffs is different. And I'm not going to lie, even though they did that, I still actually think that the Minnesota Timberwolves have a chance to still, like I said, gentlemen sweep, because for one, they're not playing off of tired legs. They literally gentlemen swept the Lakers. They handled the, limping Warriors in 5. They only played 10 games compared to the Nuggets 14 games. So they're more well-rested. They have their identity now. Julius Randle is freaking, I don't even know what to call him at this point. Like, he has not been known as a postseason player at all. That's why the Knicks had to get rid of him and upgrade to Karl-Anthony Towns. But that's another video we might have to make eventually, bro. Is this arguably the best, like, team-to-team trade where both teams won the trade? Because both teams just made the conference finals with this trade, and I don't think anybody would have predicted that. Like, that is insane to me.
True. But this is the Knicks' first Eastern Conference Finals with Jalen Brunson, and Karl-Anthony Towns duo. The same thing actually happened with, I want to say, hold on a second. There was a team. Oh, yeah. Luka Doncic and Trae Young. They both got traded for each other, too, on draft night. That was a win-win situation, too, I think. And the Hawks did make it to an Eastern Conference Finals. And the Mavs also made it to the finals. So we can only say we've seen this once from Jalen Brunson making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, because next year, the next couple of years, when there's actually more pressure to the standard being set higher, and when the bar gets set higher, the pressure is higher, and it sometimes makes things go backwards in terms of like, well, you were playing on house money. Now you're just expected of that. So it's a little bit different kind of pressure, but I think that the Knicks definitely are in a better position than the Hawks were. Although at the time, you would have thought that the Hawks were on a different level at the time, because they beat the 76ers when Joel Embiid was MVP level. And that was when Ben Simmons was on the team too. So we can't really talk about that. That was the series that Ben Simmons literally gets the ball, like a 7-footer basically gets the ball underneath the hoop and decides to pass instead of dunk it. Don't understand that. But yeah, so about the whole trade thing, this might be one of those trades that you're right. It's a win-win situation, and I think it ended up working out for both teams. Julius Randle, he was expected to be number 1 on the Knicks. So it's a little bit different kind of pressure for him too, because now he's not having to be that guy. He just has to be someone who can produce. And Karl Anthony Towns, he was number one on the Wolves in terms of like that was his team before Ant arrived. And maybe there was some clashing between who was number one. I don't know how exactly. There's a thing about Ant-Man always like making fun of Cat, low key kind of things. And I don't know if it's like throwing shade or just kind of like that's who Ant-Man is. Kind of seems like it. But I don't know. To me, it kind of seemed like now Cat doesn't have to be number one. He has to be number two in the Knicks uniform because Jalen Brunson, he's that dude. And so both when that trade happened, it's not like the players switched teams and had to be the exact same role, They didn't have number one. It was one guy went from number one to now number two, and the other guy went from number one to number two. So, or no, sorry. Yeah, he went from one to being two, and the other one went from one to being. Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say how like Karl Anthony Towns, that was arguably his team before Anthony Edwards came. Once Anthony Edwards came and Anthony Edwards just did what he does, which is dominate and just show with his charisma as well as his confidence overall that this is probably going to be his team. Now you have a situation where your previous number one overall pick, Karl Anthony Towns, is kind of left pretty much trying to see, okay, how do I really fit with this guy being the number one person, right? And so obviously it was good enough to make it to the Western Conference Finals last season. I actually thought that they should have ran it back again. I don't understand what it is about teams not giving their roster, especially if you make a deep run, another try, unless you're the Lakers, because the Lakers, I don't know how the heck they managed to make the Western Conference Finals in the Darvin Ham era, but it should have never happened. Because now that we know how his coaching style was, arguably, if they had a competent coach, they could have easily maybe given at least the Nuggets a little bit more of a run for their money, right? But I don't understand what it is about these teams who, they try to make these big splash moves in the offseason after just getting as far as you did. And unless you guys get, completely outmatched by your opposing team, I don't understand why not just run it back. In this case, we could definitely look at it for both New York as well as the Minnesota Timberwolves, because when you looked at that matchup, the Timberwolves against the Mavs last season with Luka Doncic led Dallas Mavericks, what you notice is, for one, Anthony Edwards didn't have the conditioning he needed in order for him to actually really do what he does best, right? Dominate the game. He just wasn't as conditioned. He was still young, 22. He's still young, 23, but he has a little bit more experience under his belt to handle those situations. Also, he wasn't a reliable three-point shooter last season compared to this season. That's why I personally would have liked to see Karl Anthony Towns still on this Minnesota Timberwolves team, because they already had the size and the length, what they still have right now. But now you see Ant-Man taking another jump, another leap in his development, to the point where now you can really see this is his team. And I thought that Karl Anthony Towns did a great job at just giving that number one, go-to title to Anthony Edwards. There was no beef, no nothing like that. In fact, a lot of times when we saw them interview with each other, they loved each other. But then again, how can you not love Anthony Edwards? I mean, the guy is literally your favorite player's favorite player right now. So, but at the same time, you could say that Julius Randle might be better suited and better fit for this type of roster, because when you look at their lineups, you got, Mike Conley, who is basically kind of like the CP3, but not as old, right? He can still be somewhat of a floor general, but to only some extent. Then you obviously have at the two guard, Anthony Edwards. Really good young upcoming player. He just literally became one of, I think, only 4 or 5 players in the league to score 1,000 points already in your postseason career at just 23 years old. That's amazing. Then you have at the 3, right? You have McDaniels, 6'10", lengthy guy, can shoot the 3. You're going to put him on your best player pretty much all throughout the game, and you're going to apply pressure full court, right? And then, of course, at your 4 and your 5, you got Julius Randle, right? That big bruiser, physical player who can also play finesse. You give him an open look from the 3, he might hit that. We've seen him shoot over 40%, at least for a few seasons now. He's reliable. And then manning the paint, you got Mr. Underrated, Mr. Underappreciated, Mr. Clowned on all the time, Rudy Gobert. No big deal, just a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, right? And he clearly makes a presence in the paint. We saw that with the Lakers matchup, and we've seen that with the Golden State Warriors matchup. So they actually are a really good constructed team with Randall compared to Karl Anthony Towns, who really kind of is more of like a finesser, outside shooter type of big, where they needed more of a presence, right? Like they needed a dog. That's what they got with Julius Randle. Then you look at the Knicks side, right? The Knicks, they obviously had Randle, but at that time, Randle was not as reliable in the postseason. He also wasn't as reliable shooting in the postseason, right? His numbers went down. He hasn't really made that presence yet. Not to mention he was injured, right? In last season's playoff matchup, when they made it to the second round for the first time in a while, they went home arguably because, again, they just didn't have enough reliable, consistent play from the players that you needed it from, including Randle. He was injured, injury prone all throughout the regular season, and then again, injury prone in the postseason. He wasn't there to help out Jalen Brunson when you needed him the most. And so they just decided, hey, we need an upgrade. We need something that's going to give us a different look and a different feel because we're more of a paint playing type of team. We need to be able to win games offensively after we've been known as more of a defensive team, right? This season, they went backwards defensively in the regular season, but they took major leaps forward offensively because of the acquisition of Cat. And not to mention, although they did lose Dante DiVincenzo, which I know that they really wish they didn't have to do that. But when you can get a former number 1 overall pick and arguably, as he's dubbed himself, the best shooting big man in the league, or in the history of the league, you do that, right? Because I love Dante. I love how he plays. But if you even saw in that matchup against the Warriors, he didn't really have much of effect like I thought he would. We've seen him really have a big impact for the Knicks. And so I would have loved to see him on the Knicks coming off the bench or maybe even starting over like Hart. You know, Hart, I think, is a player that you could just plug and play. You can just do really whatever you want. But either way, man, this trade is solid for both teams.
So, guess Karl Anthony Towns' playoff average for the Wolves last year in the playoffs.
For the Wolves, I'm gonna guess 18-9.
Yeah, we'll just stick to scoring here right now, but yeah. And then guess Julius Randle's playoff average this year again with the Wolves.
This year? Are we playoffs? I think Julius is averaging like, I want to say like 26.
So yeah, Karl Anthony Towns' playoff average with the Wolves last year was 19.
Okay, I was close.
Julius Randle's playoff average was 23.9 this year so far.
Really?
So,
I don't know why I thought it was a little bit more than that.
I think it was, but maybe the last game he didn't score a lot, and so it went down. But
yeah, I mean
that's what it's saying at least. But I could be wrong. I looked it up, but you know, sometimes I feel like you look at different places and say different stuff. But either way, though, I think that's huge, just because Julius Randle is doing exactly what the Wolves need. Is they need a big body who can score, and he was doing it consistently. Man, you would have thought he was Michael Jordan out there in the playoff series against the Lakers. Man was doing everything. He said, LeBron who? He did not care who was in front of him. But let me tell you this, man. We would have won that series with AD. We would have won that series with AD.
Yeah, that is the question, man. Arguably, if we had AD, Max Christie in that matchup, we definitely, I mean, it's easy to say 2020 hindsight, like, oh, we would have been better equipped for that, right? You got Max Christie just coming into his own. He just got inserted into the starting lineup for the Lakers and was building confidence after scoring 15 points in New York City the night that he literally got traded in the blockbuster trade for Luka Doncic. And then you had Anthony Davis, but let's not forget, this was one of those AD seasons where he wasn't available. very similar to like Julius Randle last season for the Knicks. And so what we're assuming is that AD was going to be healthy in that matchup. And of course, you're going to take AD over Rudy Gobert in that matchup. Of course, you're going to take LeBron James over Julius Randle in that, matchup, because you saw in that matchup too. And we're going to talk about the game here in a second. It's on commercial break. There's a official review right now. The Nuggets just challenged the call, I think, to help Aaron Gordon not get picked up with another foul. But just talking a little bit about that, you could see the Lakers. They just they clearly were just not a matchup for the Wolves because of the lack of size. Like, I don't care if you have Luka. I don't care if you have Austin Reeves, LeBron James. I don't even care if you got Michael Jordan in there. If you got no rebounding at the bare minimum, you got your threes basically acting and masquerading as fives, you're not going to win. And the fact that JJ doubled down and made LeBron, especially a 40-year-old man, and you're 22, who's arguably played at least like 25 seasons at this point because of the postseason games as well that he's played. Center, that's just not wise. And I would have loved to see Jackson Hayes just given an opportunity. And it's a development thing. If we're going to keep Jackson Hayes in the offseason, you want to see him actually develop in those moments that matter the most, and then carry that into the next season after feeling what those moments were like. I felt like JJ just had a really bad problem not trusting his players, and it clearly showed. And that was one of the reasons why we went home early, right? And then also the Dalton Connect thing, man, I will never understand it. There are games that we literally struggled scoring. We struggled from the perimeter. What better time than to play your rookie sniper who has zero experience in the postseason, yet you're trying to develop him? And he's not like an 18, 19, 20-year-old rookie that you picked up in the draft. He's 23. So to me, if you can't play a 23-year-old rookie in the postseason, especially somebody who's one of your better three-point shooters, yes, granted, you did trade him and then rescind the trade, but I mean, unless you guys are trading him again in the offseason, I don't understand why not play him. Why not give him any minutes at all, even if it's in garbage time, just to get a rhythm? It just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, back to the whole thing really quickly about AD. I mean, the man scored 40 against the Grizzlies. He's got something against Triple J, but it's just like, the thing is with AD, you can't always guarantee the scoring, but shoot, man, in that Lakers series, it's not. There was a couple games where Luka didn't score that much either. I mean, at least we know you're going to get defense from AD, and the 40 points was more than Luka scored in any of the games. So it's just like sucks because it's like, I know this team the Lakers would be perfect with AD and Luka and LeBron. That'd be sick, but. It's not even about how many blocks you get, it's not how many deflections you get. It's about how many balls do you get to deter.
I was about to say.
It's how many of those basketballs that get thrown up and they have to kind of move their shot a little bit because they know there's a big guy coming. I'm not saying we're going to go farther with AD than we are with Luka, but we all knew that this team wasn't constructed, the way we wanted it to after the Luka trade. But we definitely got a lot of hope because we were like the number one defensive team for like 6 weeks straight, basically. But I think that we would have beat the Wolves with AD. But in hindsight, we needed Luka for the rest of the postseason. But other than that, the Dalton Connect thing, never understood it. I mean, is JJ Redick got an anger issue?
There's a saying about people that go to Duke. And that saying is a lot of Dukies think that they are just better, that they just know better. And I definitely felt like in JJ's first season, I've watched his press conference, post game, his press conference, like on off days when they were, practicing things of that nature a lot. And he always kind of seemed like annoyed when asked questions. And it was one of those things where I was just kind of like, bro, get that stick out of your butt, bro. Like, what is we doing? It's just answer the question best that you can. I mean, I understand that he clearly is very analytical. He's very basketball savvy. I don't think LeBron James would literally, do a podcast with just anybody, right? I mean, look at him right now. He's doing a podcast with Steve Nash. So I think that, you know, I think that JJ he definitely got humbled in this postseason. At least I hope he has. He needs to reflect on himself as well as the team needs to reflect on themselves and just come back better next season because I just don't want to. I just don't want to keep seeing small ball play all the dang time. It's just annoying. Like it actually to the point where it's like, bro, you're not the Golden State Warriors. You don't have a player like Steph Curry that's constant, and you don't have a team or at least an offensive structure like the Warriors where there's so much ball movement, there's so much player movement, screens, things of that nature. We saw so many times the Lakers were literally stagnant. They were playing hero ball, one-on-one, Luka versus everybody else. Then you pass it up, AR versus everybody else. Then you pass up to LeBron. LeBron versus everybody else is not a sustainable way to win. The teams that are still surviving right now, guess why they're still playing in the postseason? It's because they play really good team defense and they play really good team offense. Simple as that. And there are times that the Lakers just were terrible defensively because they didn't communicate well with each other. And there are times that the Lakers couldn't score or buy a bucket because they were chucking up threes thinking that they're the Warriors once again or the Celtics, and they don't have the personnel for that. So overall, man, I just hope that they really take this offseason to reflect, see what they did wrong, and just make those corrected fixes because at the end of the day, like the Lakers have what it takes to do something, and obviously it's easy for us to say that as Laker fans, but time is ticking, man. Fatherhood time has been undefeated, and although it has been prolonged for LeBron at 40 years old, is coming. And we've seen some signs of that in the postseason as the season has gone by. And you got to wonder how much longer is he even going to be around? He might stick around for like another season. He might stick around for two most. I don't think he's lasting any more than maybe 2 seasons. So,
Okay, so about the whole JJ Redick and remember that this comment here from Southern Sea. JJ's post games were hilarious, especially after losing. Well, I remember that last game before the game, the interview that everyone was talking about before that game 5 against the Wolves, where he got asked a question and he was like, I think this was the interview. He's like, you don't think I asked my my assistant coach it? Because the reporter was asking a question, making it seem like, oh, did you notice the rookie mistake that you made? Basically, I'm paraphrasing in terms of what it meant, but reporter basically asked him, was like, hey, that decision you made, was it like, do you think it was like a rookie mistake kind of thing or something along the lines? And he basically came back and was like, you don't think I asked you're basically insinuating that I'm making a rookie mistake. And he's like, you don't think I asked my assistant coaches every play or every game, advice? And to my credit, to my point is like, okay, but I get they're experienced coaches, but just because they're experienced doesn't mean they're good. You got some experience, but what does Scott Brooks and Nate McMillan ever do on the Hawks and the Wizards? they clearly don't know how to play in the playoffs either or make decisions. But, it is what it is. Still wish Phil Handy was on the team, but that's my point.
Yeah. Hey, real. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say that the whole thing going on with the Lakers posting that strength and conditioning coach too.
Sign me up, coach.
I know, $250,000.
I'll whip them up in shape. Right now, man.
Keep them accountable during their workouts. All right, LeBron, get to work, bro.
Hey, Hookah Luka, no more. Hookah Luka, no more, baby. Not till you win a championship. Nope. Hey, real quick, I just want to point out that just going to the game, the Nuggets right now are on a 29-9 run since the 3-minute and 10-second mark of the second quarter. And if you look at the box score right now, what did we just talk about, right? How important to end the quarter is. Not only did they end that quarter at 39-20, but they've already started this third quarter 11-4. So they are really putting their foot on the Nuggets' necks right now, and they are not letting up. You kind of hope that you would see some level of heroism from the Nuggets, but again, man, tired legs. You can't see it. And again, Jamal Murray is it's like, where is he at? I haven't seen him yet. I honestly forgot he was even in the game, and he's played 24 minutes. He has more field goal attempts than points. Unacceptable. So, I don't know, man. It's looking like the Nuggets are going home. They can't. And you know what? I just got through talking earlier about how the Nuggets were having a better paint presence. Oh boy, was I in for a treat? No, the Nuggets, they took that. The Nuggets took. I mean, the Thunder. Beg my pardon. The Thunder are running circles over them. I want to get an update on the team stats. Yeah, look at the points in the paint margin. They are darn near doubling up the Nuggets, 46-24 right now. Like I want to say the last 5 buckets that I've seen the Thunder score have all been around the rim. All around the rim. And the Nuggets can't stop it.
As a Lakers fan, if the Nuggets go out, I'll be okay. I think I'll sleep okay. But we can't let them young guns OKC win the chip because they're already cocky. Imagine after they win. This is bad news, man. Bad news. I'm smelling a Nuggets comeback here, though. If they gotta close out the quarters well. They gotta have Jokic score some points. I mean, what's Jokic doing, bro?
Well, Jokic is doing what he can. It's just, again, man, like, who else are you getting the scoring from, right? You got to think of it this way during the duration of a game. The best way to get your best player going is to have him have somebody else to lead him along the way. I'm looking at right now, Jamal Murray take a 3. Okay, he made that one. Good job, right? Finally, he showed up a little bit. But, like, who else are you getting the scoring from? Earlier in the game, it seemed like Christian Brown showed up a little bit, but since the first quarter, like the first half of the first quarter, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't showed up offensively. And then defensively, I mean, they're giving up way too many points. They're getting out physicaled. In some ways, they're getting punked, to be honest with you, by a lot of these Thunder players, specifically Caruso. I mean, he's all over the place, offensively and defensively. So, I mean, Jokic, like, there's only so much you can expect and you can do. I mean, again, I hate to do the comparison, Thief, but let's look at it, man. It don't matter how good of a player you are, if you don't have the teammates there to support you along the way, you're going to go home early. Like, look at their percentages. They're shooting 40%. They just missed another bucket. They're shooting 39.6% compared to OKC's 50%. Like, that right there, I don't want to say it's a lack of effort, but it's got to be a lack of energy. Because, again, when we talk about postseason play, you're playing your starters high-level minutes. You have no production from your bench. I can't remember the last time I seen any of the Denver Nuggets bench even score a point. And then you complement that with barely getting any production from your starters. I mean, it's not rocket science, Russ. They're going home.
It's rocket science for me. I don't understand like you. You got to give me a break, Vince.
No, you're good, bro. You're
good. Good pointing out these things because I have a hard time watching games sometimes and trying to like do you ever get caught ball watching during a game where like you just straight watch like the guy who has the ball and maybe the guy who's defending him, but like you don't see anything else around the game. You're just so tunnel vision watching the ball. That's me sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That guy did do a lot of double helping and double teaming, and sometimes I forget. Like, you forget to really dive deep into these games is not easy. You have to like watch the game a different way than like a fan experience. You have to like really look at the game and watch. But man,
study it.
OKC is wiping the floor, man.
Yeah, man. They're winning in all phases. Like they're dominating in all phases right now. And again, unfortunately, I can't even react to like complete live action because mine is like I think 20 seconds behind. But what I'm seeing again, like
DJ is trash.
Huh?
The comment from Southern C, MPJ is trash.
Hey, 6 points. Imagine being 6'10", 6'11", and you have 3 rebounds. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'll never understand why like these tall players can ever. Whoa! Damn.
Yeah, over Jokic.
Cason
Over
Wallace.
over Jokic, yeah.
Jokic? Oh yeah, no, them boys going home. Them boys are going home. And yes, MPJ is. You know what? MPJ is only great against one team in this damn league. You want to know who that is? The freaking Lakers. Let's talk about it while we're on commercial break. This man, MPJ, was looking like a freaking prime Kevin Durant playing against the Lakers the last 2 seasons. But everybody else, it just seems like you just can't get it up.
Yeah, but apparently, who'd you say MPJ plays like?
I mean, I think he tries to play like Kevin Durant, like his shooting looks like
okay,
it.
yeah. So is that the name you used, Kevin Durant? He be playing like a prime Kevin Durant,
like against the Lakers. He's over here acting like he's playing like Kevin Durant, but everybody else, he's acting like he's playing like his brother, who's not.
And you know who
right now?
You know who else? They got prime Kevin Durant against the Lakers. MPJ is playing like a prime Kevin Durant against the Lakers, and then we got Jamal Murray playing like a prime Michael Jordan out there. You can't beat Michael Jordan and Kevin Durant on the same team, bro. It's just not it doesn't work. Against the Lakers, bro, I just don't get it, man.
Yeah.
I don't get why our role players are man, our bench just sucks. Like, you got Jared Vanderbilt, who can't score for a lick of shit, and he wasn't even playing 30, 40 minutes. They had Jared Vanderbilt playing like 15 minutes per game in that series because they needed the offense. And then you got Dorian Finney-Smith, who's great on defense, great. But if we have those defensive players, then how come we're getting beat offensively? Defensively, sorry. It just doesn't make any sense. And so we need people who can score. We don't need these one-dimensional guys. Oh my God, Cason Wallace with another backboard. Bro, if you're shooting a corner 3 and it goes off the backboard and in, you know you're going home.
Oh, you know it's a wrap. You know it's a wrap. But when you're making shots you got no business making, it's clips. It's already written in stone. And they're on a 38-18 run. Although now that they just made that 3, obviously, because I know my game is behind. I mean, they're plus 20 since that 3-minute and 10-second mark of the first quarter. Crazy. Or actually, I beg my pardon, second quarter.
Yeah. Makes sense. Feel free to look around.
Wild. Super wild. Yeah, man. And now you can see, like, even the Nuggets, now they're not making their threes. I mean, they can't buy a bucket. And you know what? To be honest, like, just seeing this lineup situation, OKC has where they can go big for big with Hardenstein. Hope I said that right. Hardenstein, or Chet. They can play them together. They can stagger their minutes. It's crazy because arguably Hardenstein, I mean, this is a Hardenstein game. Let me look at the box score here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, see what really happened. Jalen Williams and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander happened. That's really what happened with this game. Shai finding himself back doing his free throw merchant things, making them free throws. I think at this point the refs kind of already know it's writing, it's curtains. So they're just like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and Let's give our precious MVP all those foul calls. Up 21 over the Nuggets. I mean, then you got yeah, man, it's just not good enough. Jokic has not scored a single bucket in this third quarter, and we're already more than halfway done. It's wild. And the way that they're guarding Jokic too is really impressive because they're making him want to do what Jokic does best, which is pass. But the Nuggets, they just can't make anything. They cannot buy a bucket. Meanwhile, the Thunder are sitting here getting all these offensive rebounds and these second, third looks. Again, Shea missing the three and they get another offensive rebound. They milking some clock. I mean, what are we doing here, Nuggets? Man. Yeah. I mean, I definitely can't sit here and say as a Lakers fan, I feel bad for the Nuggets, but at the same time, kind of expect a little bit more than this. Especially if you're going to let Aaron Gordon play. But it is what it is, man. This is definitely not the Nuggets year. Yeah. I definitely can tell you one thing that the Nuggets are looking forward to is this offseason and what changes they're going to be making. Because like I said, you cannot last long in the league with a piss poor bench. You have a bench that has 6 points compared to the Thunder, whose bench has scored 21 points. Ridiculous. And now you have their starters coming up too. You got Shea with his 23 points off efficient shooting. And then again, Jalen Williams, he really dominated in that second and the third quarter to go on that run to spark everything. But yeah, this game, I mean, might as well just ride it. See, unlike the regular season where sometimes we'll see a lot of like 20-point leads suddenly just kind of disappear. It's not happening for this one. You're not doing that against this Thunder team. I think the Thunder actually only allowed that to happen one time, like on a random day against a team that had no business doing it. Or actually, no, beg my pardon. It was against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I remember that. Because I was low-key like, dang, that was a good game. Timberwolves were the last time the OKC Thunder ever blew a 20-plus point lead going into the second half. So, I mean, this is not the Wolves that they're playing. This is a very short-handed Nuggets team. It's already got a bunch of injury concern issues. They've got a lack of depth. They're getting no production this quarter again from Jokic. Aaron Gordon, who had a really good start to the game, he's not showed up well. He's only got 8 points, and he's been sitting on those 8 points since the first quarter. Jamal Murray, you're starting, multi-million-dollar. I think, was he on like a $200 million contract, or he's looking for? I don't even know at this point. I don't pay attention to the Nuggets like that. But yeah, turnovers, man. That's the game. 16-4. Then you got points off of turnovers. OKC is plus 20-2. Not going to win that way. Not going to win that way. Yeah, I definitely had questions about if OKC was going to make it, just seeing how this season has gone. I mean, the first round was crazy, specifically in the West, right? You got the East teams who kind of was very boring, predictable. Seeds 1 through 4 all made it in the second round. We kind of all predicted that. But for the West, obviously you had the 2 and the 3 seed, Rockets and Lakers going home. Not good matchups, first round. And then second round, I felt like the second round was really a lot of injuries, man. Like all season long, there's been injuries and whatnot. But in the postseason, that's really when you hate to see it the most because you just want to see good basketball. You want to be able to see
these. This is not the game I wanted it to be.
hold on 1 second. I was just talking about like the injuries, man. Like we understand injuries are going to happen, in the regular season, but you hate to see injuries in the postseason. And I mean, arguably, it's robbed us from some really good matchups in this postseason. You have the whole Damian Lillard situation with Milwaukee. We got robbed from that. Obviously, you had the Lakers in the end. Austin Reeves had his toe, injury by Game 3. LeBron obviously not be able to finish out that game. If the Lakers did win Game 5, they definitely were not going to be good to win Game 6. Second round, obviously the big one, Jason Tatum, Achilles injury. Even though I'm a Laker fan, I am still a reasonable person. Okay. I definitely hope that Jason Tatum is able to recover from this. We hate to see major injuries like this to teams or players because, especially as a Laker fan, we've dealt with it a number of times, as well. And seeing how it can really affect your team, not just that season, but the next couple of seasons, if not more. So definitely prayers for Jason Tatum. And then obviously, Aaron Gordon in this matchup, hamstring. You had Steph Curry with his hamstring problems. So it's just injuries, man. It's like the woulda, shoulda, couldas. Like, arguably, who knows? Maybe the Warriors do push the Wolves to at least a Game 6, Game 7. Maybe they completely turn that around just from having Steph Curry out there. I mean, the first game that they played, Curry only played 13 minutes, had 13 points, and they blew the doors off of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Since then, they lost all 4 games without Curry. Jimmy Butler, we've known him to be playoff Jimmy. He did not show up this matchup at all. So, yeah, you hate to see the injuries, man. Hate to see it. But this is definitely looking like OKC is obviously going to run away with this. We're basically approaching the end of the third quarter. And again, OKC's up by 24. You're not gonna come back losing 24 in the playoffs against this OKC team. And again, your bench gave you nothing. 8 points. Your turnovers, 17, compared to OKC's 5, just not good. And you kind of didn't expect that from a championship caliber team like the Denver Nuggets. But, this is a little bit poetic justice. Maybe this is a humbling moment for these Nuggets as well, because when they won that championship, it was annoying. It was almost as bad as the Celtics winning. I'll tell you that much. And what I mean by that is the Nuggets, when they won that championship and they were sitting here talking about only the Lakers, oh, we're the Lakers daddy. Like, you didn't even talk about the fact that you guys literally had to beat the Miami Heat to win the actual finals. You just sat there talking about the Lakers the whole time. That was annoying. And then to see how your season finished with 8 games in the regular season left, you guys fire your most winningest head coach in the history of your franchise, and Michael Malone. And then somehow, some way, you managed to beat the Clippers in the first round, and somehow, some way, you managed to push OKC to Game 7 in the second round. I really was not expecting that. I'll still say, man, it's a good season for you. You're going home. There's no doubt about that. You're going home. There is no comeback whatsoever. Thunder have this in the bag. But I'm interested to see what the Nuggets are going to do in the offseason, because obviously you got to fix that bench. You got to get better production, not just defensively, but obviously scoring, because scoring was really the problem for the Nuggets this season. And I would even go as far as to say, you know what? You might want to invest in a big man. I know the Lakers clearly need a big man more than anybody, arguably, in the league. But the Nuggets, I think you might want to prioritize getting a defensive, lengthy, rim-running big man, somebody who is able to give support to Jokic, because I know Jokic is a center, obviously, but he's a point center. One could argue, I mean, we don't know what they're going to be doing with MPJ this offseason. There's been rumors that he might I don't know if he's a free agent after this season or not, but he might get traded away. He might go somewhere else for the money. But if he's gone, that gives you opportunity to put Aaron Gordon at the 3 spot. He can play that. You could put Jokic at the 4, kind of like an AD type of thing, right? Where he could play the 4, but then you also have a defensive-minded center who can help Jokic around the rim, who can also take some pressure around the rim away from him. And we know Jokic is literally the best passing big man in the league. It's not even a question. You pair him with a solid center who he can play with at the 4 position, and it doesn't have to be all game long, right? It could be certain moments in the game. It could be starting the game, whatever, certain matchups. But I do think that the Nuggets might want to look on getting a reliable center to help out Jokic out because, I mean, just look at it. He's gassed out. You have no backup center that he can play with whatsoever. You have DeAndre Jordan, and that's pretty much it. He scored 3 points, only 3 points in that third quarter. I'm surprised he scored. There's just so much pressure on him because the rest of his teammates just haven't really showed up outside of Christian Brown, who, again, like he has a silent, quiet 19 points. I didn't even know he had 19 points because after that first quarter, it felt like he kind of disappeared. So it's one of those things you definitely want to look at. But just going off this comment here, Denver really trying to spread the floor for Jokic and Murray with 3 non-shooters. Yeah. At this point, I think they're just kind of saying like, F it. Let's just try something new. Let's just try something different and see if we can get anything going. They're clearly outmatched. The Nuggets, they just are not equipped to go far with this lineup. And so at this point, you're kind of just hoping to get anything, right? But yeah, and I definitely agree with you on this comment. It's time to break this team up. I mean, you know, a crazy stat that we have in one of our videos, and again, I would encourage you guys, if you're here live, but you haven't had the opportunity to check out any of our actual videos that we've posted, take a look. We actually do a really good job at predicting a lot of these matchups. I, for one...
No, Vince is really good at predicting the matchups. I come out with my wants instead of needs.
I will say, I have watched basketball since I was a kid. I have studied basketball. I was a 3-sport athlete. I played football, basketball, and track, but basketball was my number one love. And so I used to crave basketball so much. Kobe Bryant, whose jersey is right behind me, my favorite basketball player of all time. That's my GOAT. Always will be. Not just the player, but the man himself. Posts, you know, just basketball. That's my life, man. And I love studying it. I love watching it live. I love just kind of seeing how teams are able to win and what led to the results and the outcome of that game. And shoot, you can even call me a coach. I've had some people literally say, you should probably go coach a team one day. I don't know. But instead, I'm here doing YouTube, and hopefully we can grow this channel. But I'll definitely say, you guys, if you haven't had the opportunity to check out some of our previous videos, go ahead and check it out, man. We do a really good job at doing our best to predict outcomes. You know, obviously you can't predict everything, specifically when injuries are involved. For example, you know, our boy Russ here did predict that the Celtics were going to win in 6. One could argue they had a chance, right? JT now going out in game 4 after they just won game 3 against the Knicks. Maybe there's a say that, hey, championship DNA, they can do it. However, for me, I noticed a trend at that time. Since 2019, we have yet to have a defending champ even make it past the second round. Look it up. Every single champion that has won the previous year has not even been able to make it out of the second year. And you got to wonder why. Well, think of it this way. It's a long season, right? You're playing from literally October. And if you're talking about winning a championship, to June, that's about 9 months. 9 months of basketball, 8 to 9 months, right? Then you got to look at this past season. What did JT do? He went to go play the Olympics. Now, he didn't play a lot, but it really didn't give him rest because you still had those practices he was involved with. It was still travel. So he had a short offseason along with Drew Holiday, right, who was also part of that team for Team USA, and Derek White. So one could argue one of the worst things that the Celtics did was allow their Celtic players to go and play in the Olympics, even though it did result in a gold medal. But when you shorten your summer and you shorten your time of rest, coming back the next season, I don't care how well your regular season looks. Postseason play is a lot different. And you also got to think, too, what wins you a championship that one year doesn't always guarantee you to win it that second, third, or fourth year. Like, look at previous back-to-back winners, right? You look at the Lakers of the early 2000s. You look at the Spurs. Even though they didn't go back-to-back, they still won, I think, like 3 in 5 or 6 years. You know, you look at the Warriors. The Warriors are a little bit hard to say because when you add Kevin Durant to a 73-9 Golden State Warriors team that made it to the finals the previous year, that one's kind of a little bit, you know, that was a boring time to watch sports, a very, very boring time to watch sports, especially basketball. But one thing that they all had in common was they won in different ways every year. Now, of course, they had luck as well. You know, they weren't as injured as we've been seeing lately, but they did win in different ways. You know, like even look at the early like 2000s Lakers. Some of those series, even though Shaq won the Finals MVP all 3 seasons in the playoffs in the finals, Kobe was obviously coming into his own as a young 20 something year old player, but he was still averaging crazy numbers. I mean, if you look it up, I think he was averaging like somewhere in 25, 5 and 5, you know, like it was insane. And so you got to wonder, man, but
So, for one, I got to say, I'm a little sad to not see Russ maybe get a shot or win a ring this year. Never know in the next few years. These days, I don't even know when these players are gonna retire. Man, it seems like all of them are just keep on playing and playing and playing. But what I want to know about this game is how does Jokic only take 9 shots? You got Christian Brown with way more shots than Jokic. I don't get that. Is it them doubling Jokic so much that he has to pass the ball? I mean, it doesn't seem like that to me. Jokic during the Lakers series, he'd wait to the end of the shot clock and then just behind the head, around the world, and throw it up, and bam, in there. That make no sense. Shoot the ball, Jokic. But I mean, at the beginning of the game, Jokic was showing me that he was the better player, even though I'm not like it's hard to judge that in a game 7. But I still think Jokic is the more valuable player to the team. But in this game, I guess something fell off, and the motivation or something, because it's not right, man. You can't have Christian Brown get more points or more shot attempts than you. It just don't make no sense, man. But OKC.
Hold on real quick, because I want you to finish your point here. I think the reason why that's happening is because of the fact that the rest of the Nuggets are so out of sync offensively that now the OKC Thunder are able to apply a great deal of pressure on Jokic to the point where now it's like the way that they're playing Jokic in this game is so smart strategically because they're making Jokic do the thing he actually loves to do, which is pass. The problem is his teammates have not showed up all game, arguably, except for Christian Brown. But even Christian Brown's scoring hasn't been sustainable or impactful because even though he has 19 points, like watching this game, did you feel the 19 points that he scored at all during this game?
No.
I mean, maybe it's just me. I don't really feel it. And so it's one of those things, you know. Jokic is an amazing player. He is known, obviously, as the best player in the league. It does not matter if you're the best player in the league. Look at LeBron's, again, like I know I keep bringing up LeBron, but Nikola Jokic is historically that good, right? He's historically that good. He's a 3-time MVP. Arguably should have been at least a 4 or 5-time by now, right? If it wasn't for the fact that the media loves to just give the award away to players because they get like Jokic fatigue, very similar to what they did with LeBron. But it doesn't matter how great of a player you are. If your team is not equipped to help you in the times that matter the most, you're going home. And if you look at the difference between this game and the 3 games that the Nuggets did win, what was the biggest difference? It was a well-balanced game for the starters, but you also had better contribution from the bench. The bench is only scoring 8 points right now. That's not good enough. 8 points with 6 turnovers, 4 of which are from Russell Westbrook. And then, again, you have starters not showing up. I'll give Aaron Gordon a pass because, again, he was not even supposed to play in this game with that hamstring pull. And I think that what's happening is, as you notice, his minutes are starting to dwindle down because they were going up pretty early in the game. But now that the game is clearly out of balance, they might just shut him down completely. He's already played 25 minutes. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't want to blame Jokic in particular for his lack of scoring. And I know that there's a saying like, okay, if you're gonna go home, swinging. But Jokic is not that type of player. He's just like LeBron in terms of pass first, try to get your teammates involved. As I'm watching him literally pass it up, it's just his teammates are not showing up for him. Like the turnovers are egregious in this game. The turnovers alone is what lost the Nuggets this game. And then the paint presence. They did a better job to start this game with a better paint presence. But when you look at how this game is progressing, I mean, who's really winning the paint? The Thunder are up 60-32 in the paint. They're up 20-9 in fast break points just off of those turnovers. So, yeah, I mean, Nuggets going home.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what it is. See, Russ is bringing the energy, but man, Russ can't shoot.
And you know what? Russ did say he knows it's the Russell Westbrook experience. That's what it is. Some days, some games, you're going to get really good production from him. Some games, you're not. And the Nuggets really needed a high production Russell Westbrook game outside of just his effort and his energy. He just doesn't have it. Another missed three from Russell Westbrook. So, it is what it is, man.
He's going to miss the layup here in like the next 60 seconds. I'll show you.
That's so mean.
No, I watched it. I watched it live here. I'm like, I guess 60 seconds ahead of you.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. He should have laid it up with the left. Instead, he tried to go with the right, and he missed it. And then okay, well, no, never mind. I was going to say, and then OKC just missed a wide open layup, but they called a foul.
Yeah.
And, you know how it is. The game's over. They're up by 30, 32. So game's over. I almost don't even want to finish this live at this point because it's almost like what we want to talk about. We can literally just talk about post game and just make a video for that. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm cool with ending it here because again, like there's no freaking way that OKC is blowing a 32-point lead with.
No, that would be historic.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
That wouldn't be historic. That would be like a nightmare. That'd be a dream. That would be like impossible. It's impossible. It literally would be impossible. Like they would have to, in some ways, allow the Nuggets to score at least 33 points just to even win and not score a bucket from here on out. That's not happening. So yeah, go ahead and close this out, man. Let's work on our post game and get a video out for that. But yeah, appreciate you guys' time watching us live.
All right, guys. Well, tune in, subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you guys all coming in watching this live play-by-play about the Game 7 between the Thunder and the Nuggets. You got your host, Russ, and your other host, Vince. We appreciate you guys and be checking out our page for more videos in the future. But yeah, so anything else you want to say, Vince?
Salute. Nah, man. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, again, just appreciate everybody that tuned in. Like I said, if you guys appreciate the videos, please don't feel it's free. Okay. It's free. Hit a like. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We'll do videos as often as we can with our schedules. And obviously this is the best time to get these things out postseason. We're about to enter the Eastern Conference Finals with the Western Conference Finals. You wouldn't want to have it any better, right? And so if you guys do appreciate the content, hit a like, hit subscribe, share with your friends if you think this is stuff that they would enjoy as well. Sure, we'll do more lives here in the near future. Other than that, check out some of the videos. Videos are going to be really good because we're going to be putting out some good quality stuff for these Eastern Conference and Western Conference matchups between the Knicks and the Pacers, as well as, in this case, we might as well just say it, the Oklahoma City Thunder matchup and the Minnesota Timberwolves. So definitely want to check those videos out. And, of course, turn on your notifications as well, you guys. That way you will keep up with any time we're live or anytime we have a video posted. But outside of that, man, as always, like we end, for the greatest Laker coach of the history of the Lakers, Darvin Ham, we like to say, salute.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Russ and Vince Courtside Podcast, where we bring you the hottest NBA moments, discussions, and everything in between. If you like today's show, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a Courtside Podcast again.